Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Jay Eli, and I'm back at it again with another video. So I know y'all like, oh my god, I cannot believe she's about to talk about this. Like, is she really about to talk about this? Yes, I am. If you haven't already, please click the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so that you get notifications, okay? We need you to become a part of the family. You know, I don't want you missing out on no videos. Before I get started on this video, I just wanted to have a little disclaimer. You know, it's just a little disclaimer. Just a teeny, not a lot, okay? What I am talking about in this video is for me and myself only. It does not have to apply to you. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree. I encourage discussion and dialect, but if you're gonna leave some hate and stuff below, just please don't do it. Just please don't do it, okay? I came correct and I wrote some notes on a piece of paper. The subject is so touchy. Nobody wants to talk about it. Some people want to be about it, but nobody wants to talk. What is polyamory? Polyamory is not the same as polygamy. It's not the same. I know that this may be hard for you to understand, so I'm gonna try to break it down. I'm gonna try. Ain't no guarantees, okay? A lot of people get polyamory and polygamy mixed up with one another. A lot of people think that polyamory means like, oh, you gotta marry a man and be his second wife, or he can have like 3 wives and the man just gets all the women and da 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 da. That is polygamy. Polygamy is solely focused centered around the man, and he has control, and he is the person who's gonna have 2 wives, okay? Polygamy is more so a thing that definitely benefits the man. Now this is another thing I want to say. I talk about poly life, poly relationships and stuff because I just like found it interesting. I just recently got into it, and I'm gonna tell y'all like a quick little brief story, I'm gonna talk to you first about like 1, my sexuality and how I discovered that. 2, my relationship and a little bit of our history because that ties in it. And 3, we're gonna get into the poly life, okay? Number 1. I was pretty much like, I identified myself as straight my entire life. Okay, straight, like a line, straight, you know, straight. When I was younger, I will say this even goes back to elementary school, I had like situations where I knew I liked women at the time, girls, but I had a conversation with my parents, and I don't even know if they remember this. I need to talk to them about it. But and the conversation was kind of like, you can't be gay. We overheard you talking to your friend about some little gay stuff, and that ain't allowed in this house. So I was like, oh my god, I can't be gay, like, oh my god. But I played it. I'm like, I'm not gay, like, what are you talking about? Like, because I mean that was the term they used. Now we know nowadays gay is a term that you use for a man, for men who are attracted to one another, versus being a lesbian, which is a woman who is attracted to a woman. But growing up in my household, a black household, it was just gay. That was how everybody looked at it. So fast forwarding, I go through high school, go through college, and I'm having experiences with women. Not really so much in high school because I was in a relationship, a monogamous relationship all throughout high school. Now, while in high school, I also had a few instances, like pretty much over the course of my life, I just kind of dipped and dabbled with women, you know, experiment here, experiment there, and I like dipped and dabbled into that whole thing. While being in a monogamous relationship on a trip, I kind of like fell into a situation. You know, you have a little drinks, you feeling good, you start tingling and things. Like, ooh, like she's cute, let me like touch her leg. And it kind of one thing led to one another. I didn't like have actual sexual relations with this woman or these women on this trip, but it did get to a point where we were like kissing each other, you know, filling up, rubbing up. And I'm like, this is lit! Okay? Lit! I need all of this life, okay? All of it. I need every part of it, every inch of it. I want the woman. The women are gorgeous. Okay, no. I told my boyfriend, and he was there on the trip, and he like knew and stuff, and he's like, oh, like you like girls, like, and I was like, yeah. I never really talked to him about it at the time because like I said, y'all, I wasn't big on my sexuality. College, college, I'm like, yo, I'm bisexual. Like, I like women too. I don't just like men. Like, there's nothing wrong. Women, I think women are beautiful. I'm sorry, like, men, y'all are attractive. I get y'all that. But women are a whole nother thing. Y'all a snack. They are a meal. Like, it's two different things. Bisexual, that's me. I figured it out. College. So, I was with my boyfriend, my current boyfriend now. We were together. We've been together for about 10 years. 10 years. Let's throw it out there. 10 years. Yeah, I know. 10 years. Oh my God. It's so long. No. It's so sweet. Fuck that. No, I'm sorry. 10 years. Not straight. So we broke up. Run y'all back. Boop, 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 boop. Broke up for like 2 years. And it was kind of mutual, but I was the person who ended it. For, I think, logical reasons. We're back together, so... obviously it worked. I was 20 years old. I'm about to be 24 on Sunday. I was 20 years old, so that's going on 4 years ago. And I was just like, oh my God, I've been with the same boy like since high school. Oh my God, this is my first relationship. Oh my God, what if I really want to be with a woman? What if I really want to marry a woman? Like, I just had all of these like confusing things going on in my head. And at the time, I wasn't really like experienced like sexually or anything like that. So I was like, dang, like I might, so I was just like, I took that break and experimented a little bit with my sexuality. And fast forward to now, I figured out that I like girls. So now that we were like back together within like the last year or so, me and my boyfriend, me and my boo, were like, I was like, yeah, like I like women. And we had a situation where I was like, look, like, how is this gonna work? Like, are we gonna like do it together? Are we going to, because I love him and that's the only man I ever want to be with for the rest of my life, okay? The rest of my life. The rest of my life. That's who I want to be with. But I'm like, now girls on the other hand, I need a woman too. Like, I don't just want a girlfriend. I mean, I don't want just a boyfriend. I want a girlfriend and a boyfriend. Because why can't I have both? So that's how that happened, okay? So he always knew. Now my boyfriend, even when I was with him like in the past, like way back in the day, he always knew that he wanted to have 2 wives. And it drove me up the wall like the first, what, 7 years of us dating, 6 years. And I'm just like, why do you gotta have another woman? Like, what's up with that? Like, I ain't woman enough for you? Like, she ain't enough? Is she not snatched enough? Anyways, he was like, yes, babe, I love you. But think of the benefit of having another woman in our life. And it just, I was always like, like I can kind of see it. Like, I really don't know. All the way up until a year ago. So I would say last year, I finally was like, okay, you know what? Let's try it. Like, what if I really, like, because at this point, I'm like, I know I like women. I know you like women. I know we faithful to one another. I know we love one another. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, like, what if we do the thing where, like, because I had, like I said, in my past life, when we was not together, I had kind of experimented with that and, like, tried to attempt to, like, talk to another woman. But it wasn't deserving. The man wasn't deserving, so I was like, nah, forget this. I just cut it. You need to cut it. All right, anyway, so I cut that off. And then I'm like, look, it would work with us because we actually know each other. Like, we've been together, we grew up with one another, we know all of each other's flaws, we know what we hate about each other, we know what we like, we know what we can't tolerate, we know what's a deal breaker. And because we are together, we kind of like the same woman in a sense. Like, we realize that, like, we look for the exact same qualities in women. So I'm like, all right, this gonna be easy. This gonna be easy. All right, it wasn't. Here we are today. And I would say within, like, the last, like, 8 months or so, we was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm like, look, I want a girlfriend because I have a lot of friends, a lot of close friends, and I'm not discrediting anybody who's watching this because my friends come out, oh bitch, I'm not your friend, we ain't friends. No, I have friends, but all of my friends are busy and I don't have a lot. I probably have like maybe 3 I can count on my hand, and like 2 of them are in different states, and like it's just a mess. It's a mess, okay? A whole mess. And because of that mess, I pretty much just be lonely. Like, I don't really have a lot of close female friends, and I spend a lot of time with my family or my boyfriend. And my boyfriend is like, I like women too. And he's looking at it from more of the perspective, like, how can we all benefit one another? Like, if we were to get another girlfriend, hypothetically, how would that benefit us? Now pause, I'm gonna stop there, okay? Because I don't want y'all to get confused. So now we're going to explain this poly life and what it means and how I got to where I am. I just wanted to catch you guys up on where I'm at. Okay, so here we are today. Polyamory can like be broken down in like many different subcategories. It truly just means like kind of being open. If I read, I'm not reading the definition. Y'all can read the definition. I'm telling you, because I ain't no teacher, and I hate people come to your videos expecting you to be like, no. I'm telling you based off of what I know and my experience and what I read. But basically, there's like 3 types of relationships. So from what I understand, you can have like a relationship with this just you, one other person, and like y'all are try it, like 3 of you guys, and you 3 of you people are all committed to you 3. There's no dating outside of that 3 people. It's just 3 people. It can be 2 girls, it can be 2 girls and 1 guy, it could be 2 guys and 1 girl, it could be 3 guys, it could be 3 girls. It's not like a gender thing. Like, polygamy is like the focus on like the man having 2 wives. And a lot of people don't like understand that and get it mixed. No, a triad or a throuple is a 3-way couple. Literally, all 3 people are committed. Okay, there's no dipping and dabbing. Now, what a lot of people also get that mixed up with is like swinging, which is when you are in a relationship with someone and you guys kind of like open relationship. You guys are just like with each other, but y'all still dip and dabble into other things. Okay, you know what I mean? Y'all go experiment together with a whole bunch of other things, but you're not like actually in a committed relationship with you 2 people, if that makes sense. Okay, all right, so I have some questions here that I wrote down, and that's what I want y'all to understand. So I just want to break it down one more time. So if you were in a poly relationship, hypothetically speaking, if I was in a poly relationship, it would look like my boyfriend, myself, another amazing woman, and all 3 of us coexisting in one relationship together. Our expectations would be that no one is seeing anyone outside of this throuple. It's us. And another thing I want to hit on, another subject, because this is really the most important part of all of this. A lot of people think that poly relationships are solely based on sexual intercourse. A lot of people think that men and women both, but more so men, just want it for sexual benefits. However, most people who are in successful poly relationships understand that the relationship in itself has a deeper core, and that the foundation is the most important part. Not their sexuality, not their sexual relations, more so actually having commitment to one another, having trust, having open communication. These are things that people in poly relationships value, just like you would in a monogamous relationship. The values are no different. The focus is no different. It's just 3 people involved, y'all. That's all. That's it. That's all it is. It's just 3 people. So, I basically kind of explained how I got into polyamory, which is like I said, kind of my boyfriend, not so really. I kind of was already like interested, but he knew for sure he wanted 2 wives, and I never was cool with that concept. Like, I'm like, no, it's not 2 wives. I mean, yeah, hypothetically you can have 2 wives, but like, it needs to be equal, where if that person likes me, she likes you equally. If that person loves me, she loves you equally. If I love that person, they love me equally. And if you love me, then you love that person. It's not just a one-way, one-sided type of thing. And I think that often that's what a lot of people think and expect. And moving forward, that's just what it is, and that's all I'm gonna say. I don't really want to speak too much on my experiences, because I feel like that would be cool to do with my boyfriend, and he is shy and he's not ready to come to my YouTube channel yet. But when he does, I feel like that would be a great video for us to discuss, because he has really good views and he really breaks things down in a way that I sometimes can't, because sometimes I just suck at trying to explain things. So going back into this whole equation and what we're looking for. So in a lot of situations, a lot of people who I know who are searching for the unicorn, that's what people refer to the third girl as, or the new girlfriend, or the person joining in on the relationship that's already established, is usually called the unicorn. Now, for most people are going into this with the intent of being married, starting a family together, raising children together. A lot of people who go into thruples, triads, poly relationships, whatever you want to call it, they typically are looking for something deeper than what you see on a surface level monogamous relationship. And by that, I mean, how can adding another person to the equation help us in the long run? A lot of people look at it from a perspective of it takes a village. Going back to cultural traditions, this was something that was more common in a lot of cultures, where a man did have multiple wives, or where a woman has multiple husbands. It's not anything new. It's just that in America, we've been forced this idea of patriarchy and monogamy, and it's kind of been set in place more so for like a control measure, but also for just like creating a stereotype or an overall expectation in society for how certain things are supposed to run. And I think that in America, our idea of marriage is kind of warped, and we see that now with the divorce rates like skyrocketing. A lot of people don't even want to get married anymore. Let's just like be real. I mean, I know a lot of people who do, but I also know far more people now who don't want to get married than I used to know in the past when I was younger. So I feel like that's just, for me, that's a personal opinion, and that's what I've noticed. Now, in terms of this whole poly thing, this is what I want to get to the core. The reason I personally am interested in it, and I'm just telling y'all me and how I view it and my expectations. So my expectations for my boyfriend going into this situation, because we are open to date another woman, and we have, and it's been a whole thing. And if you want to answer, if you want me to answer any of your questions about what I'm saying now, please just put them down below, and I'll just do another video, because I know I am not going to get everything out in this video. It's just literally too much to talk about. But my expectations was for me and my boyfriend to remain 100% open with each other. And by open, I mean not hiding anything. If you're texting a person, I want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want to be in the known. I don't want it to be a situation where we are in an open relationship and I'm talking to someone and you're talking to someone and it's just not getting anywhere. So we have very clear intentions. We set our boundaries very early on, and we just communicated openly about everything. Now, also with my expectations, like I told him, and I expect for whoever to join the equation to, one, have an open mind, and if it does get to the point where we are all in a relationship, for them to come to the table and be able to bring something. Now, for us, it's really important that whoever this person is, they can help us out financially, because we both work very hard, and we both he is an entrepreneur, and I am working on becoming an entrepreneur so that I can do everything full-time and blog and model and everything. But all that to say, we both work very, very hard. We both have really, really high expectations for our life. We both have long-term goals set. We both have our idea of what we want our life to be. We both want children, but we also know that we don't want our children to go to public schools. We know that when I do have children, we want to have my children at home in our house. Eventually, we would like to become more healthier and become vegetarians, vegan, whatever. We know what type of lifestyle we want, and we both have seen the struggles of having we both have witnessed the struggle of being in a living situation or being in a situation where you do have both parents in your life, and it's just not enough. It really isn't. And shifting into today's economy and the cost of living, we looked at it like, how can adding another person into the equation hinder us? If that person equally loves, and I mean truly loves, each of us from the bottom of our heart, and is willing to put in the same work with both of us that we have put in with each other, then we can only go up from there. And even down to the point of having children. We both want to raise children with another person, and we feel like having another person in the equation can help us, honestly. Like, financially, like I said, with bills, with errands, with cooking, with laundry, cleaning, everything, we feel like it would just be an extra helping hand. Also, I get bored. That's me. He gets bored very easily as well. Not with each other, just in general. And because we're both so busy, a lot of the times I might just want the company of a person, but I don't want to just be with anyone. So pretty much, if I can explain my reasoning and why I am interested in the poly life and why I kind of said yes to it, is more so for the beneficial purposes, and I look at the pros. And the pros are more so just, like I said, having that helping hand, having our family extended to another person, and ultimately just having someone who loves and can reciprocate us. Now, we do not believe in jumping and having sexual relationships with just anybody and doing anything. For us, it is not a sexual thing. We're not interested in just doing anything sexual with anyone. We really have taken the time to get to know women that we've been involved with, and it's essentially just the same process, literally as if I was dating and I was single and I was looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It is the same exact process. It's just another person involved. So it's not so much like it's all about him or it's all about me, because I feel like that's what people think it is, and it's not that way at all when it comes to poly relationships. It's about the overall unity and connection of all three individuals. And if you haven't, I would really encourage you to check out the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and Willow Smith. I love that. And I was already kind of like on the poly wave. I mean, I was already interested in it and knew a lot about it way prior to the Red Table Talk. But when the Red Table Talk dropped, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Like, and Willow is very, very young, but I've always been a fan of Willow Smith, and I really respect her, like her outlook, her mindset, and her parents remind me a lot of my parents in the aspect that they're very open-minded. And I would say her parents are a little less traditional than my parents, but yeah, coming from my background, you know, I come from a Christian household for the most part, or a Christian family for the most part, and it's like you gotta get married to one man, that's it for the rest of your life, like, and I'm just not with that. I'm not a traditionalist. I've always been more like open to new experiences and new ideas and just seeing the way new things work. And from being in this experience, I just want to tell you guys like kind of what I've learned so far. So prior to me being open to the poly life and the poly lifestyle, I can tell you 100% that I was insecure within myself. I was insecure within our relationship. I never had any issues with infidelity or anything like that. That was never an issue with me and my boyfriend like that. And if that was an issue, I don't think that adding another person to the situation is going to fix that infidelity issue. But for me personally, that was never an issue. It was just my own insecurities. Prior to this, I honestly can say that I don't think I respected women to the extent that I do and understand women to this extent that I do since I have been open to dating and I have started dating women essentially. Prior to when our relationship was solely monogamous, I do feel like I constantly felt like, oh, I'm not good enough, like, oh, And it wasn't him. It was literally just me and my own insecurities. And because of that, like, if he had a female friend who I know it was nothing more, people that I personally believe that you should be able to have female friends. And that's another point I want to touch on. It's just the control that kind of goes into a lot of monogamous relationships. I don't like it. And going back to Jada Pinkett Smith, she kind of talks about, like, when you're with the person, a lot of times people think that because you're with the person in a monogamous relationship, you own that person. Like, that is your property. And that is your person, yes, but you don't own that person. You can't control when they can go out and who they can talk to and who they can meet. I just think personally that is absurd. And it was as though, for me, since I've been in this relationship and we are open to bringing another woman into it, we have gotten like this. Like, we are thick as thieves. That is my ride or die. That's my best friend. We joke. It feels so refreshing to be able to share an experience with someone who also likes women, but that's also my guy. Like, I can't explain it, and I can 100% say that this is not for everybody. That's why I had that disclaimer. Poly relationships are not going to work for everybody. It's just not. The same way monogamous relationships don't work for everybody, and vice versa. The same way relationships don't work out if you gay, purple, blue, green. Like, it's relationships in general. So first, you have to master yourself if you want to even think about doing this. And I feel like because I was working on myself and working through a lot of my insecurities, I was able to bring myself to this point where I can ultimately handle it and not be jealous or anything like that. And for me, it's actually brought me much closer to women. It's allowed me to appreciate women more, to be appreciative of sisterhood, and to want to create sisterhood within any woman I see now. I don't look at women and see them as threats. Like, and this has all come about for me personally just from this experience. And, you know, I don't think I would be the same person. I feel like I would be a little bit bitter, me personally, because I know I just had issues where, not issues because we all have problems or whatever, but just being honest, I know that as a person, I definitely would feel a little intimidated sometimes, like if I was in a room with a pretty girl, because I didn't know, I didn't understand, I didn't speak to women like as much as I did. It's a very big difference from having a female best friend and having an actual girlfriend, which they can be the same and very similar, but it's a different type of appreciation for me that I've taken. And ultimately, I just feel like, you know, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot that can come from it, but I feel like it challenges you to grow as an individual when you're in a polyamorous relationship, because you are no longer thinking about yourself. And I know that when you are in a two-way relationship and it's just monogamous and it's just you and two people, you may feel like you are being considerate of the other person, but in actuality, you're not. That's usually because of your insecurities of that person. When every woman I know that's in a relationship, he better not be looking, he better not be checking for no other girls. Like, this is all he got. This is all and a lot of that is insecurity. Like, you're afraid to, like, let the man still be a man. Men are still supposed to be looking. They don't gotta touch, they don't gotta but it's nothing wrong with a man saying, well, she's an attractive woman. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And I know plenty of women who will be taken back by statements like that. I know many women who get crazy. I know many women who are toxic because of their insecurities in monogamous relationships. So all that to say, that is like kind of like my expectations and how I view it and how I see it. But things are different for everyone. I've spoken to a few people in poly relationships. I've actually met a lot of more people who are open to it and who are actually in relationships like that. And I find that the people I meet who are in poly relationships or versus the people who I know in monogamous relationships, the people in poly relationships, honestly, if I'm going to be 100% honest, and this is not everybody, y'all. This is not everybody. But for the most part, I feel like the people in poly relationships are more happy. Like, they're more satisfied. They're more excited about their relationship versus people I know in monogamous relationships. It just seems like it's kind of daunting to them, and this is not for everyone. I was in a monogamous relationship at this point in time. I've tried monogamy, I've done monogamy. It's not horrible. I'm not saying that I can't do it, because I can, but my preference would be not to do that. And a lot of people just don't understand that. I'll let you guys kind of understand what it is. You understand my sexual history, and you understand my sexual preferences and all of that type of stuff, which I feel like this video is important. I really do. I feel like we need more people speaking on things like this. And I know I got this gorgeous look. I know it looks so cute. I can't right now, but I didn't get a chance to film it because I just wanted to focus on this. And I think that it's really, really important that we start having these conversations, because I have witnessed, and I don't like to say this because it's not everybody. It's not everybody, y'all. I have personally witnessed far more people in monogamous relationships, so-called monogamous relationships, where they have a boyfriend and the other person has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is still dating other men. The girlfriend is still going on dates with other men. The girlfriend is literally still involved with other men. Sometimes sexually, sometimes not sexually, and vice versa. And all that to say, in our society right now, in our culture, and in our generation, for the folks my age, I'm about to be 24, I would say 25 and younger, even from 30 and younger, it's a lot of a game going on right now. Like, it's a lot of like, oh, I'm gonna not text him back, I'm gonna not text her back. Oh, I'm gonna not do this, I'm gonna not do that. Oh, he left me on red, I'm gonna cut him off, I'm gonna block him. There's a lot of games being played with relationships right now. And I personally think that because of social media and instant gratification and being able to get an Uber to your boo house and being able to get on Tinder and find a match, I feel like there's too many options. Just like, let's just be honest. I just want to be honest, because there is. And I hear a lot of women talking about, oh, men ain't, niggas ain't. And I'm not gonna lie, they aren't sometimes, most of the times, but neither are women to a certain extent. And I'm saying all this to say that I think a lot of times it's one-sided, like, oh, women are this and that, men are this and that. But from being in my relationship and from being open to a poly relationship and talking to so many different people, first of all, there's a lot of women who are dating people with girlfriends, and they know. They openly know he has a girlfriend. Now, what's messed up is that oftentimes the girlfriend is not aware, or vice versa. The boyfriend is not aware. So it's just this cycle of people kind of like low-key being in poly relationships, but that's not what they want to call it, because they want monogamy. Also, I've been hearing a lot more with people saying like, oh, can we just be best friends and have sexual relationships? Like, this whole idea of relationships and stuff is just screwed. And I think that dating for us right now, from what I see from my friends and the complaints they have, it's like everything is solely sexual. Like, everyone is looking for something sexual, some type of pleasure, some type of instant like, oh, I want to cuddle with someone, versus like really wanting something long term and like really willing to put in the work to get something long term. And I'm saying all of this because there are people in healthy, happy relationships with 3 people willing to make it work. And you have people with 2 people and they can't even get it to work. You have people who have 2 people and they're struggling to pay their bills. Let somebody else come into the household that got a good job. I can guarantee they ain't gonna send them the other way, okay? I would say do your research before you just jump in and say, she's stupid. Like, why would she go and be with him when she could just have her own boyfriend to herself? Like, I think people need to learn how to respect other people's lifestyles. And if you don't agree with this video, you don't have to like it, okay? You ain't gotta like it. So it's funny because I wrote like something on Facebook, and this was like all of the response I got because of this video. Everybody was like, I cannot wait to see this video. I'm a realist, and if y'all don't know this by now, you better learn that I like to talk, and I really have really strong opinions because I'm just open-minded. I'm more of like a hippie, like a unicorn. Like, I just don't want to confine to society's social norms, and I'm fine with that. But don't get mad at me for like not following what you do or not believing what you do, because I'm not mad for you guys for believing in what you believe in or doing what you're doing. I'm just saying this is me. But I got a lot of responses, and a lot of people was like responding to what I wrote on my story, and a lot of people surprisingly had a lot to say about poly relationships. I met a few people, and I just wanted to touch base on a comment that my cousin actually left, because this is what most people think. She said, is the desire for these relationships built off of lust or like, and doesn't it kind of benefit the man more? She is referring to a relationship where a man wants 2 wives. Some men, I'm sure not even most, but plenty of them, I'm sure most of them do want 2 wives so they can have a threesome and get it cracking. But that's not every person. That's not the way everybody thinks. So I think what honestly that makes me feel like people need to fix their mind, and they need to fix the way they view relationships. Because if you think because another person wants to add another person into the equation is purely sexual, then that means that that's where your mind is, and that's what you think about relationships. You think that another person implies sex, and that's not always the case. I'm not vouching for people who cheat, because I think that's gross, I think that's wrong, I think that's dirty. But I do understand that sometimes people aren't cheating because of a physical thing. Oftentimes people cheat because of mental things, because they were trying to talk to that person and the person was never listening to, because they wanted some type of need fulfilled and the person wasn't listening to them. So I'm saying all this to say that if that is an issue, if a person is having an issue and it's about lust, that is an individual thing. Not everybody who's interested in poly relationships are doing it because of what it can get them sexually. And most people aren't. If they are, they're swingers. Like, that is the definition of a swinger. You swing. Y'all are getting nasty, getting wild with everybody, okay? And that's not what I'm interested in. That I've never been interested in that. I would never be interested in that. I think that's gross. Like, yeah. Anyways, you know, I think it means a lot to me personally, because looking forward to the future and seeing myself, I'm already too busy. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I like to keep myself busy 24/7. I'm not talking busy just hanging out, like busy doing things, busy writing down my goals, busy working on different things within myself, busy doing YouTube, busy creating content, busy. I just like to be busy. My boyfriend is equally as busy. And I know that if we want to be successful in our lives as individuals, me, my boyfriend and I, and the next person who joins in us, it's going to take teamwork. Like, it's going to take a whole village. And where one of us can't pick up the slack, another person can pick up that slack. So I ain't gonna keep ranting. I think this was a really good introduction to the topic of polyamorous and polyamorous relationships. I want you guys to really think hard and to leave any thoughts you have below in the comments. If you can, please share this video with someone that you know. We're just going to open up the dialogue here. You know, this is just the beginning of this topic, and I would love to talk more about it. I'm not going to go on and go on because I can for days, and like I said, I would honestly like to have a boyfriend here talking with me about that. It may never happen, so don't get your hopes up. But yeah, I enjoyed this video. I enjoyed talking to you guys. So let me know how you feel. Like, would you do it or not? Like, would you try it out? Have you tried it out? What do you think about it? Are you traditional? Are you non-traditional? Like, what are your opinions? How do you feel? I want to know. Leave it all in the comments below. I will address every single question in the video, but you got to leave one if you want me to address it, okay? Now remember, thumbs up always. Don't give me no thumbs down, because if you do, you a hater and you shouldn't have been watching it. If you watch my video all the way through and you give me a thumbs down, you got issues. You got issues, and we ain't gonna talk about that now. Okay? But that is all for now. I will see y'all in the next video.